So over the last several videos, I've been seeing a theme in the comments section and even some online news sites asking the question, is Outriders just another Destiny, Warframe, Division, or even Anthem type of game? Basically asking, is this game a games as a service, aka live service game? And honestly, I really wanted to address that here and now and talk about how Outriders is not a live service game and why that distinction is very important, while at the same time try and talk about why you might be interested in giving this game a look. Now, but before we dive into the meat of this video, this intro is unfortunately going to be a bit longer than I like, but for good reason. But if you're just here for the discussion and you want to skip over this intro, please use the chapter sections in the header of YouTube. You can just skip over right into the part that you want to hear and talk about. But for the rest of you who are going to stick around, let me just start with hello and welcome to Ginger Prime. My name is Brian, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, Soul Nation. Today, for watching this video, you're going to receive the special title of Kingslayer. That's what you get for subscribing, by the way. Free titles to collect and to share with your friends. But you only get them at the start of videos and only for subscribers. Now, obviously, in my last video, I shared with you that YouTube shared with me how bad I am at reminding people to actually hit that subscribe button. And in doing so, you all responded with an almost alarming way. And honestly, it's really hard to kind of process that. So if I wasn't able to, comment back to you, welcome you to the channel, I do apologize. And I wanted to say welcome to the Soul Nation officially. So thank you so much for trusting me and taking a chance on me and this channel. Now, if you haven't subscribed yet and you feel like I actually earn it, please do so. You can always unsub later, no hard feelings about it whatsoever. And at the same time, also, I want to apologize actually because in my last video, I spoke and said while Outriders is a 3-player RPG that you can play up to with 3 of your friends. I misspoke. The game is a 3-player RPG, but you can play up to with 2 of your friends. So thank you for those who pointed it out. I do apologize. Hopefully I will do better in the future. And finally, and I did say this was going to be a longer video, with so many new subscribers here on the channel, I wanted to take some time to highlight one of the things that I do to hopefully help you understand the difference between what this video is and my other content. This video is considered a coffee chat. Basically, it's an unscripted video where I talk about the things that I care about, whether it's with a specific game or something that's going on with gaming in general. Now, you'll notice how coffee chats actually are outlined with a green border. This is on purpose. You'll also see concepts like guides, which are outlined in blue. Yellow considers something like that's of news. And I'll tend to use different colors to kind of represent what they are and what they're intended to be. So what you'll see here is this is just an unscripted thought. This is more of an opinion piece and not necessarily something that is news, informative, or a guide teaching kind of methodology. That's how I think of it. That's how I kind of roll. So it's a little bit of my own madness, but I did want to point that out because if you've seen guides or if you've come into the channel that way and you're wondering why this video feels or maybe even sounds or looks different, that is why. It's because I'm crazy. So anyway, I wanted to point that out. Thank you for kind of indulging me in my weirdness. And let's go ahead and welcome back everybody who just kind of skipped over that long intro and say, all right, guys, thanks for coming back. And we've got a lot to talk about. Now, today, I actually want to cover kind of 3 key points, especially in the concept of Destiny, Division, Anthem, and how Outriders kind of fits into that puzzle, where it's different, where it's better. And that's essentially kind of into 3 points. Outriders as a complete game, why Destiny, Division, Warframe, gamers in general really might enjoy this game, and also the third topic, which would be kind of why they might not. Obviously, all games aren't going to appeal to every gamer out there, and I want to look at this kind of honestly, kind of hopefully maybe give you some insight whether it's going to be worth it to you or to not. But again, this is just my opinion. Take it for what you will, throw it out. Honestly, do what you do with this information here. So on to topic number 1, why Outriders is a complete game and what that means and why that should excite you. Now this kind of kicks off from a Game Rant article talking about why Destiny 2 players should keep a close eye on Outriders. And while the article is a positive article, and honestly, there's some really good insight to it, talking about the pedigree of People May Fly, what they've built before, why you should be excited that they are the developers of this game, I am really, the first thought is a concernment that comes around the concept of comparing Outriders to Destiny 2, both good and bad. There are players, I am myself a longtime Destiny 2 player, currently on a break, and in kind of enjoying my break, but I'm looking forward to returning to Destiny at some point. That is my relationship with the game. I always call Destiny kind of a 3-seasonal game. The season of hype, which you get excited for what's to come. The season of grind, you consume all the content that just got included in the game. And the season of bitch, where you complain about it until the next season of hype rolls around. That's Destiny. That's the live service model, in my opinion. And I'm a longtime MMO player, so all in all, like I think I set hopefully a good expectation with what live service games are and what they are not. Now, Outriders is a complete game. Think of it more akin to a Mass Effect as opposed to a Destiny. Maybe like a blend of Mass Effect and Borderlands would be a really more apt explanation or description of this game. Now, when I say Mass Effect, I use that term like cautiously. I don't know if you're going to have the same experience like you've had with Mass Effect. Using other games to compare, other games can be a positive in aspects, but it could be a detriment in some other way. So just take what I'm saying again with a grain of salt as some random ginger's opinion on the internet. I'm sure there's thousands of us, or I don't know. Anyway, long story short, regarding that, it's a complete RPG. It's a story-driven RPG, and it happens to have an endgame. It also happens to be multiplayer. One of the key aspects here is that there is no current planned or at least announced DLC for this game. And if I was going to be a betting man, I would put money down that you would actually see something akin more to an expansion for sale later on. Why is this the case? Well, Outriders doesn't have a microtransaction system. It doesn't have constant updates that it needs to feed the players. It's more like they're trying to set up this really cool world, deliver a really good experience, and let you go ahead and go about your day. Just like in the older times, where you would have an expansion come out that would return you to the game to where you can consume that content. It doesn't sound like they're having this crisis try to get you to log in to do your quote-unquote dailies. That can be very refreshing, and at the same time, if you're looking for a game to consume you for the next 10 years, you might have longer content gaps depending on the critical reception and the financial reception of this specific game. But if you buy the game, you're going to get in, you're going to have a 40-hour campaign, and then you're going to have the ability to stick around towards the end to grind for cooler, better loot, to go for more custom crazy builds, and to do so with friends. And I think that multiplayer aspect is something that keeps games running for a lot longer. And so this isn't me knocking the game for not, delivering that, but this is also me trying to set the expectation. If you're expecting to get 10,000 hours, out of the game, perhaps you're somebody who does that. There's Borderland players who do that. But if you're something who's like, hey, I just kind of am looking for something to play alongside Destiny, something to kind of fill in the gaps when Destiny isn't really living up to the hype, there you go. Now, Destiny's also a little bit different. It offers PvP. You might not be into PvP, but that's okay. PvP can kind of fill gaps in PvE related content. So as long as you have a good understanding of what Outriders is and what it is not, this could be a really exciting time for you, especially if you're looking for a really well-developed game by a beloved publisher. And when we talk about it, one thing this Game Rant article really nails is the pedigree of People May Fly. They haven't let me down personally. I am a fan of their work and have been for what feels like a very long time. And hopefully they can also knock it out of the park for you and deliver you a great experience. So that's what I wanted to talk about regarding Outriders as a complete game. Now, I want to talk about why Division, Destiny players, Warframe players, and others might really enjoy this game. If you've been like me playing those games, me for Destiny more than Division, more than Warframe, and more than Anthem, and I bring that up because I've seen all the other comments, people saying like, "Oh, this feels like another Anthem with a hype." I think that's because they're mentally thinking of this as a live service game, as a game that's trying to keep you logging in every day for those metrics and hopes to kind of squeeze out some additional microtransactions. But because that model really isn't set up here, I think you're going to see this more as something that if it can deliver a really awesome story and you can really enjoy the characters and you can really find interesting ways to kind of come back and keep playing it and explore the world, unlock its secrets and mysteries, I think then you're going to find a really good home here. I think Destiny, in some ways, I'm not going to sit here and bash it. I love that game. It's a weird relationship. Sometimes I'm just like, I can't stop playing it. Sometimes I'm like, I can't not play it, and double negatives, which probably means a positive in this case. But I apologize for my poor English. My English major mother weeps for me sometimes. But beyond that, I think the Destiny player is really going to connect with the loot-driven aspect, the crazy-ass builds aspect that you can go and connect to it. Same thing with the Division and like, in a ways, like for me, speaking just for myself, this kind of feels like what Anthem like maybe wanted to do. Now, whether Outriders will do it successfully or not, I cannot sit here and tell you that at this moment. Look forward to a review at some point in the future. But I think it's going to be a game that, especially if it's critically received, that it has a really compelling gameplay loop. One of the things that is really key to a game, overall, you can have a great story, but if you don't have a great gameplay, well, why don't you just make a movie, call it a day? But if they can nail that feeling of combat and that feeling of power, I think it's going to be a game that all of us would be excited, especially if they announce, future DLC plans that are either connected into an expansion style system or something that kind of gets us back in to increase the level cap and more. They have not announced that. They have not shared that they have plans. And I think that's kind of smart. I think it's kind of a smart play to sit here and say, hey, here's what we wanted to release, a full game. Unlike something like what Final Fantasy XV did, unlike what Cyberpunk in a way has done, into some kind of weird, backwaters world. We've seen more games kind of shift into a live service model without truly being a live service game or what we would label one, meaning that they come out unfinished and then we have to wait for them to get finished. So I don't think that's going to be the case here, but we'll keep talking about it and keep letting you guys know. Obviously, if that ends up being the case, that's unfortunate, but I just don't feel, I don't get that vibe right now. All right, so we're in Anthem's world, me actively making videos saying, hey, don't pre-order this game. Like, it's okay that, I believe in developers. I'm always going to root for developers as a developer myself. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you to pre-order. I'll probably never tell you to pre-order a game, but I'm not making a video that says don't pre-order this game. So take that for whatever you want in this case. All right, so point number 2, hopefully beaten to death. I think that essentially what draws you into the world of Destiny Division, you're going to find those connections here. The nice thing is it doesn't feel like you're going to have to, give up every weekend to be able to get raid ready. That's a positive and a negative. Let's talk about why, the third point, why you might not enjoy this game. At the end of the day, I think that it's usually new content, more reasons to strive for power, and the fact that Outriders has a kind of a scalable world scale and challenge tier, that's going to give players like me, who I would consider myself a mid-core player, being that I'm a family man, and I've got responsibilities, and I can't commit to multiple nights a week to raid. I like to be more of a slot me in, and I will perform. I'll get the job done, I promise, rather than kind of like, you ever had those raid experiences where you're like, hey, can my friend come? And we're like, oh God, he's not even geared. He doesn't, Anyway, I think we've all kind of had that experience, and hopefully none of us have been that friend that's had to come along and can't keep up. But at the end of the day, I like that aspect of it. Now, if you're looking for that big grind, something that's going to consume your year or the next 5 years, the next 10 years, just maybe don't set that expectation. So if you're looking for that kind of game, this might not be the game for you, but it could be a really good distraction. It could fall right at a great time. There's a lot of games that I'm looking at this year that I'm very excited about. And I talked about it in a previous video, but essentially it's basically looking at, I'm really excited about New World. I loved what I played with it. I hope they knock it out of the park. I'm really excited for Blue Protocol. I'm really excited for the expansion for Final Fantasy XIV or whatever the hell they're doing. That's a lot of games as a service game. I'm really excited for this game. And and excited for Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis. Like, I keep going on, and I play a lot of live service games. So for me, this is going to be something I think it's really that I'm going to be able to dive in, sink my teeth into, hopefully get hundreds and hundreds of hours in with a community. And hopefully then at that point, the games are a massive success and they're already talking about the next expansion. However, just note that this might be something that you just kind of play and then you go back to playing something else. And if they continue to support the game down the road, then it's a positive. And if they don't, hopefully it's just this great experience that we all sit back and remember, man, I really look forward to Outriders 2 or something along those nature, or that nature in that regards. Now, these were, again, like I said, my thoughts. This is my opinion. I think it's okay to be excited for games. I think we've all been in a world where if everything kind of felt bleak. And unfortunately, some of that bleakness bled over into the gaming. And hopefully, I think everybody's just primed, waiting for somebody to come out with just a well-polished, great combat, Lots of fun, lots of build options kind of game. And Outriders is poising itself to be that game. Will it? Won't it? Unfortunately, we all have to wait and see. My personal mantra is, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and tell you, you need to put in a pre-order. There's no scarcity when it comes to a game, but you're an adult. I'm not here to tell you how to spend your money whatsoever or douse flames on your excitement. I hope that it delivers it for all of us. I'm excited. I'm going to share my thoughts. I'm going to cover this game. I'm going to cover things that I'm excited about. And that's just who I am. I love talking about games, and I look forward to your thoughts, and I welcome you all if you're, again, new to the channel. I will be taking some time off, so if there's any news that breaks from now until next week, my wife and I are having a baby tomorrow. I cannot wait. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl. If you made it to this part of the video, let me know. Do you think it's going to be a boy or a girl? Sound off in the comments below. We'll let you know when I get back if you're right. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a really great time. And once more, I'm working to complete my raid team in this regards. I've wasted enough of your time, and I do apologize. It's not my intent, but sometimes these coffee chats can run a little bit longer. I do appreciate your time. I appreciate your thoughts. Sound off. Let me know what you think. Again, like I said, boy or girl. And again, if you feel like I've earned your subscription, I really appreciate it. Thanks for giving me an opportunity. Hopefully you enjoy the content, and I look forward to getting to know you and your taste in games over the course of our adventures together here in this YouTube algorithmic world. For Ginger Prime, my name's Brian, and I don't have anything else to say. I've spoken enough, and I wish you all the best. Hope to see you next week, and I'll have good news, hopefully, about the newest addition to the Ginger Prime clan. But yeah, thanks guys. Love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
This video is sponsored by me, Ginger Prime. Hopefully you'll check out my podcast channel, Ginger Gaming Radio, which we have lots of guests, lots of great conversations, and even more highlights. Links are in the description below. Let me know what you think. Thanks.